Hi guys, welcome to the vlog. So I have the tablet here, but I'm not going to read the book again for you. I am going to instead read a poem to you, if you don't mind. It's not mine. This is from a woman called Nadin Stair, and she was 85 years old, and she was asked if she could if she had her life to live over again, what would she do differently? And this is her answer, this poem. So here we go. So here we go. If I had my life to live over again, I would dare to make more mistakes next time. I would relax. I would limber up. I would be sillier than I have been this trip. I would take fewer things seriously. I would take more chances. I would eat more ice cream and less beans. I would perhaps have more actual troubles but fewer imaginary ones. You see, I'm one of those people who was sensible and sane, hour after hour, day after day. Oh, I've had my moments. If I had to do it over again, I would have more of them. In fact, I would try to have nothing else, just moments, one after another, instead of living so many years ahead of each day. I have been one of those persons who never goes anywhere without a thermometer, a hot water bottle, a raincoat, and a parachute. If I could do it again, I would travel lighter than I have. If I had to live my life over, I would start barefoot earlier in the spring and stay that way later in the fall. I would go to more dances. I would ride more merry-go-rounds. I would pick more daisies. So obviously there are things there that I don't agree with, like picking daisies. Don't pick the flowers, just let them be. Admire them. Okay. So two things I want to mention here. The reason I like this is because I'm a big fan of making mistakes. My whole life philosophy is making mistakes, and she talks about making more mistakes. And 2 points that I want to make here. One is when we do computer programming, like when you're writing a program, then you make mistakes which we call bugs, things that don't work properly. So we have to remove them, and that process is called debugging. And especially when you are learning that language, when you are learning any programming language, you make a lot of mistakes. You have lots of those bugs in your initial programs, and you have to debug them. But each time you debug it, each time you come across a problem, you learn something from it, you remember those things much more. And the harder the problem is to solve, to detect and fix, the longer you remember that lesson. I do have a few lessons that I remember from long ago because it took me so many hours or sometimes days to find the issue and fix it. So that is one thing. Debugging is an essential part of learning programming languages and actual programming. If it wasn't, then I would not have a job, because my job is to find those bugs, report them to the developer, and then let them fix it. So my whole job is because the mistakes are inevitable. Okay. Second thing is the dancing. When I started to learn to dance, well, I won't mention the first time when I started to learn to dance, or the time before that. Oh, I don't even remember when the first time was. Okay, let's talk about 5 years ago when I moved here to Doncaster and then I started to learn to dance. I used to be really afraid and nervous to actually dance. Even some of my classmates used to ask if I wanted to go ahead and practice with them. I was scared because of making mistakes, so afraid of making mistakes. And that went on for a while. I used to be like completely depressed that I could not dance, but on the other hand, I was not taking the risk to get up and dance and let myself make the mistakes. So with time, as time passed, I took more classes, then I did allow myself to make mistakes. And also because I was not dancing so much, I used to sit and watch other people dance and used to admire them, like, how can they do this? This is so difficult. How can they do this? And then I started watching, and then I saw that they made mistakes as well. The people that I was admiring, the people who were really good dancers already, they were also making mistakes. And what would happen is they would make a mistake, the leader makes a mistake or the follower makes a mistake, and they laugh and then they move on, they keep dancing. Like, wow. So it's not like I thought about this in this very coherent and like proper way, but the things just filtered through to my mind, to my subconscious, and I became slightly more relaxed about the mistakes. And then my progress in dancing went so fast. It's not like I'm a world champion dancer now or anything, but I can at least now I can say that I can dance between the intro and outro, and the song is playing. I can go on the dance floor and have fun and actually dance. So that would not have been possible if I had not allowed myself to make the mistakes. I actually and when we are younger, we do this all the time. We make all the mistakes in the world. So somebody tells us not to touch the candle because it's very hot. Oh, we're going to touch the candle. There's no way we're going to stop. Somebody tells you don't play too close to the stairs. Ah, come on, what can happen to us? And then you, boom, and then you have the fall, and then you learn from it. And then you don't make that same mistake next time. So making the mistakes is an essential part of our learning, but then as we grow, somewhere we kind of become averse to making mistakes or taking the risk that could lead to mistakes. And I think one of the reasons is because the society or parents, society, bosses, employers, everybody. So the society doesn't actually reward the mistakes. So if a pilot lands the plane 500 meters past the runway, nobody's going to give him a medal. So similarly, if people start making mistakes in everything, then it's lots of loss of money, property, people, lives. So there has to be a balance as to what kind of mistakes you can actually make. But because of this culture, because of this restriction that mistakes are bad, it gets so deep into our subconscious that we restrict ourselves into straitjackets. There was a quote that I'm trying to remember now, and it says something like, to protect man from his own folly is to give rise to a generation of fools. So we become so completely absorbed in this practice of not making mistakes or avoiding any situation where we might make a mistake. We become so cautious and so careful with everything that we forget to live. Sometimes we have no fun, but hey, we didn't make a mistake. The only person who doesn't make a mistake is the one who doesn't do anything. So these days, I'm a big fan of making mistakes and learning from them, and at least allowing myself to take some risks. Not a whole lot, but I do take some risks, and I do act on impulse quite a lot of times. There was, because I like this concept so much, I made a film one time which was called Make More Mistakes. And I think I had come across this poem already by the time, so maybe that's what inspired it. And oh, hell with the copyright. I want to quote from that film, so I'll quote from that film. I'm just joking. I can quote from that film because it's my own video. So here we go. I will show you a scene from that. I won't show the last part because that's the spoilers. But check this out.
Are you crazy? This isn't some computer game. This is life. How can you undo life?
I don't know how, alright? I just know that it can.
Let me see it again.
Show me that.
Would you guys like something to eat or just drinks? Would you guys like something to eat or just drinks?
Okay, so I deliberately showed you a fun part of it so that you would be inspired, motivated to go and check it out. The link is in the description for both the film and its trailer. So the trailer is smaller, shorter, so you can watch the trailer if you want and see if you want to watch it. It's like maybe 10 minutes long movie. But we enjoyed that. And it's one of the good movies that we did. Like the story was good, my actors were really, really good, and technically also it was not all that horrible. So execution was all right. Not all the scenes are in focus. Sometimes we have that issue, but generally it was good. It's one of my good films. So yeah, this is my message for today, that we should not forget to make more mistakes, take some risk, and just enjoy life and live life rather than just being so cautious that we forget to live. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you don't think that watching this episode was a mistake, and I will see you tomorrow. Please subscribe to the channel. Bye.